Thank you, people, for joining in the 2 Cents Podcast. I'm Nino. First of all praises, thanking, gracious to the man upstairs for waking me up. Please, people, continue to subscribe to subscriptions. Hit them like button, subscribe. Thank you. I want to send some shout outs. What's going on to all the ladies out there that sends me important topics and info. Miss Lucille, Miss Shelley, Miss Naomi, Miss Valerie, Miss Valeria, Miss Mary Bell, Miss Amber, Miss Allie. What up, Miss Daisy? What's going on with y'all? How y'all people doing today? Thank you for all the things that you send. I appreciate you guys to the fullest. I want to send a shout out to my peeps, Miss Paradise, LaShawn, what's going on, baby? Thank you for holding me down. Brooke, what's up, Miss B? Thank you for holding me down. Thank you for sending me important, topics and everything. Thank you for being by my side. I appreciate y'all to the fullest. What's going on, Miss Brittany? What's going on with you? Miss Carmen, what it do, Miss Carmen? What's happening with you? What up, Ross Strick 9? David, the USA Podcast, my brother, my partner. Sometimes my partner in crime as we trying to, take this podcast and this social media thing to a whole nother level. We're going to keep grinding. We're trying to get better and better every day. What up, BA? What up, Donnie? Humph? What's going on with you? What up, Marco? Foley? Jude Keith? What up to my great son, MJ King? What it do, Zion, my grandson? Marlon, Norris, what up to my peeps? What up, my partner, Tony Campbell, that I done reconnected with? Cool dude, back, chopping it up with him. What up, Big Curtis? I ain't forgot about you, buddy. I hope you still grinding. I'm just trying to stay busy and get this platform, continue with doing things on that. But keep pushing, my brother, because it will pay off. Nobody can deny hard work, you dig what I'm saying? What up, Big Bruce? Saginaw, Michigan. Big Luther. What up? What's going on with you? What up, Dre? Hey, man, thank y'all all for this riding with me and continue, to support me. And, I'm going to support you guys. Appreciate you guys for everything that y'all, do for me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anybody I miss, again, hopefully it will be more podcasts and I will remember you. But just because I forgot you, don't think that, just because I forgot to mention you, don't mean that you're forgotten. Today, the topic that I'm going to talk about is chivalry in a relationship dead. Ladies, this is for the men to the ladies. I think it's some misconceptions in it, and it's certainly some do's and don'ts. But I think women, old school women even they in these millenniums, young or old, don't mind a little bit of chivalry. Because when you used to, times back when you was dating a woman or a female, that was one of the things that, I believe they loved, and really a real solid gentleman, a man, would exercise chivalry. Chivalry in relationships is not entirely dead, but it has evolved and is often debated. While traditional knightly chivalry is less common, aspects of it such as politeness, respect, and consideration remain relevant and sometimes seen as a chivalrous in modern relationships. The concept has shifted to focus more on mutual respect and genuine connection rather than rigid gender roles, according to dating and relationship advice sites. Well, old chivalry did start back in the knights, the medieval time. That's what I'm going to mention. Chivalry started through the medieval times. So that's how it really came of a substance. That's how it was birthed. That's how it came to in fruition. That's how it started its process. But for what it's saying, or for what I'm saying, the concept is, as you said, or as I just read, politeness, respect, and consideration. What's wrong with that? In today's time, it seems like a man wants to treat a woman sometimes more like a rogue, more rough. What's wrong with being polite? What's wrong with being respectful? What's wrong with showing consideration to your woman that you're dating? Because it's just showing another way of how you should have an admiration for her. You know, as I say today, a lot of these millennials, and I'm not criticizing, I just call what I see, the younger groups. I think chivalry is still more of an old school thing, but it's any quality that you can attract and become accustomed to, whether it's old or new. The young millennials can pick it up too and start, showing it and displaying it towards their females. But in this generation, it seems like a man or a young man won't open the door for a lady. A young man won't let the lady walk in first before he walks in. It's like the young man feel like she has to do certain things for him that he should be doing for her. It seems like a young man at times don't even want to treat a woman with consideration. And a lot of these women in the millennial times like this, but then most of them don't, because still, again, no matter what decade it is, what generation it is, what generation that is now that we are living in, women still like to be treated with niceness, kindness, and plenty of politeness, and just shown that, a man really is in tune, feeling great, and being with her, and showing a straight kind of way of his admiration for her. We're going to reach out deeper into chivalry. Chivalry as an evolving concept. The original ideal of chivalry rooted back in medieval times, as I explained earlier, focused on virtues like bravery and loyalty, and later developed into a set of behaviors expected in courtship, in courting a woman, modern relationships. It's less about strict adherence to those historical codes and more about demonstrating kindness, respect, consideration for one's partner. That's what chivalry is. If you're with your lady and it's raining and she has on some high-heel shoes, and I know a lot of people, the youngsters going to say this old and corny, and she's walking and it's a spot down there and y'all going to the car, throw your jacket in there for some spot where she's trying to get in the car and she can get her shoes dirty. Show your chivalry. Throw your coat down there and let her walk on it, because that's just showing kindness. That's just showing you that you're standing tall, you're standing solid for your woman. That's your partner. Even if you're just out on a date and you're first meeting her, that is your partner. So why should you not respect her, show kindness, And we will know mostly on the consummate that when you're in a relationship with a woman, the more happy you keep a woman, the more happy as men we will be. And that's facts. You ever heard that saying, when you're married to a woman, a happy wife is a happy life? Well, when you first start, a courtship with a woman, she's your girlfriend. A happy girlfriend is a happy boyfriend. You dig what I'm saying? So, it's not nothing wrong with showing kindness and courtship. When you go out and eat dinner at a restaurant and y'all walk in and y'all finna take your table, pull out her chair and let her sit down first, and then you sit down. It's not nothing wrong with old-fashioned chivalry. It doesn't take away from, I know, fellas, you being a man, and we are so caught up in being a gangster and a G. But even gangsters and G's, just look at a lot of the movies. They have respect boundaries that they don't break for nobody. See, you can be tough, but you still can be respectful, and surely be respectful towards your woman, because that's what it's all about. Modern expectations. See, now the chivalry is coming to more of a modern expectation, because remember, chivalry started back in the early 1800s, back in medieval times. But modern expectation was chivalry. Many people still have chivalrous acts like opening doors, offering a coat, or being a general. However, these are now often seen as expressions of thoughtfulness and are not solely expected from men. Modern relationships emphasize mutual respect and shared responsibility. Well, there are thoughtfulness, but now in this day and era, it's so much that everybody is worrying about the bag when you're dating a woman. Even a woman is inquiring how much money you have. What is your bank account? You know, how many funds? What's your ducks? You know, how large is your bank account? What can you afford? What can you not afford? Can you take me on shopping sprees? Can you not take me on shopping sprees? Can you set me spa appointments? Things like that. That is fine too. But what's wrong with old-fashioned thoughtfulness, chivalry, being kind? Yeah, we can get to the bag, and if I like it, if I'm dating a woman, I'm going to show my likeness. I'm going to show my admiration. I don't mind spending some money on you if we are dating for a minute and we are really both, this relationship is going great and I see it going somewhere. But I'm talking about this starting out in the preset or the pregame of the relationship when we first just meet. Women, you should applaud a man being thoughtfulness. And men, you should be thoughtfulness and kind to the woman, because it should make you feel good. Remember back, I can go back times just hearing old school people back in the day, even older than me, were saying when the man always courted the woman, it wasn't always about how much money he had or what was his position, what kind of job he has. And of course, a woman wants to be taken care of, and you courting a woman, you should be able to take care of. You should have the finances. You should have all them things. They should fall in place. 1, 2, 3. But it was the thoughtfulness, how you treated her, how you spoke to her, how you walked with her, how you gave consideration to her. So it's not nothing wrong with having a bag. It's not nothing wrong to be financially strong, financially healthy when coming to dealing and dating with a woman. But women too, I believe a lot of y'all, will take a lot of disrespect from a man at times just because y'all eyes are on what he has in his bank account. How big is his bag? What can he do for you financially? Just because he has a lot of zeros in his bank account, or he has a lot of zeros, which means a lot of money on him, you would take disrespect. You would take, things from a man that you shouldn't. And you shouldn't do that. You should value yourself. You are a woman. Let a man be thoughtful and kind to you. Because it still is men's, and it still is a man and males out here that has both a lot of zeros in their bank account, have the big bag, but again are very thoughtful and show a lot of chivalry. And that's for facts. Gender roles in chivalry. The debate around chivalry often involves the changing nature of the gender roles in relationships. Some argue that traditional chivalry can reinforce outdated gender stereotypes, while others believe it's a way to show attention and care. Some dating advice articles suggest that the most important thing is to communicate openly and find out what works best for both partners in a relationship? Well, on that situation, the gender roles and chivalry, debate around chivalry also involves the changing nature of gender roles. But I'm old school, so I'm always like, if I have the bag, if I'm solid on my bank account, if I'm interested in a woman, I'm still going to be nice. I'm sure going to be forthcoming, where showing my kindness, showing my appreciation, showing my thoughtfulness. And again, as we evolve off into the relationship, of course, and I'm liking her like that, I'm digging her, I don't mind spending change on her, because, again, a man should be, at times, if he liking a lady, spend money on her, spend change on it. Just another way of showing his admiration for her. But he should also be able to show admiration as far as being kind, as far as being thoughtfulness. Now, a lot of these gender roles in chivalry sometimes change because, see, again, this is a different era. This is a different this is different times now. This is the millennium. So, of course, a lot of things are different, because a lot of times you have fellas that really, these youngsters, that really sometimes think the women, young females, they reverse roles. Like, they should be want them to act like the man and, cater to them instead of the young man catering to the woman. It's not nothing wrong with catering to a woman. That's your woman. You got to remember, guys, it's in the Bible. You are the hunter. You're the one that's doing the chasing. You want to chase. Remember back in the days of the caveman days, or what it is depicted of the caveman days, the caveman always went out, hunted the woman, had his club, and drug her in there by her back to his cave. Now, I'm not saying you do that, drag your woman back into your house or nothing. I'm just saying that's a depiction of how the caveman days were portrayed. But fellas, you're the hunter. So by being you're doing the hunter, you're doing the hunting. Let me rephrase that. You're doing the hunting. The woman is the hunter. So by doing that, do the things for hunting her, but do it a respectful way. Show chivalry by hunting and going after her. It's not nothing wrong with that, because a woman will love that. A woman want to be pursued, but she want to be pursued with respect, kindness, and thoughtfulness. She want a man that not only can do for her, I believe, financially, and that can respect her, but again, value and show, exuberance of politeness and kindness at all times. Authenticity and connection when it comes to chivalry. In modern relationships, authenticity and genuine connections are highly valued. They are. Chivalry in this context is less about grand gestures and more about showing sincere appreciation and respect for one's partner through everyday actions. Well, that's true too. Another way of chivalry is too, most of the time when you take your lady out, even though she is financially healthy and have, money, first date, you pay for it. Again, I know a lot of times in this modern era, in this generation, that a lot of people are preaching, especially guys, if they have a bag, let the lady go half on them, go half with them if they're going out and eat on the first date. Now, me, myself, I'm old school again. If I'm going out with a woman, and just because she have it, if I have it, I'm going to pay for the first time we go out and eat. Because that is chivalry. That's how I was raised. That's how we used to do it in the old school. It's not nothing that I'm saying against how the young millennials do today, because the young fellas are even preaching on social media. They want to show that even though they have money, they want to show that they are valued, and it's not nothing wrong with guys being valued. But again, fellas, why, if you're going out on a first date with a woman, what's wrong with you paying for dinner the first time, you know. It's not that just showing, Chivalry just showing that that's a real gentleman. You know, that there's kindness, you know. I'm not saying go out with her on the first date and give her $1,000, $2,000 or nothing like that off the, you know, off the muscle, because you don't want to look like a trick. You don't want to look like a poop butt. You don't want to look like a lame. But it's a difference with just being showing down home genuine chivalry and kindness, and what a gentleman would do when he's dating a woman, especially on the initial contact, then from just doing things that are really, you know, against the grain, or, you know, you should oppose to that, because I get what the young fellas are saying too at points this time in this era too. They don't want to look like they're this easy and they're just giving money away. But again, chivalry doesn't always mean about money anyway. It just the behavior acts that you do, the kindness, you know, the thoughtfulness, you know, walk her to the door when after y'all date. You know, make sure when you go home and when you drop her off and she's riding with you, make sure she gets in the house, you know, appropriately, because things are crazy like that. Walk her to the door, you know, and then still show a lot of genuinity on the first date. Don't push trying to get in and get the goodies right then and there, even if she offers it, because, you know, things will come. I have seen that too, because I have at times been the most impatient person. But things will come when you be patient a lot of times. So just take your time. But yeah, if you go out on a date with a lady, you done, you know, paid for the dinner, then, you know, y'all had a good time, and then you coming home and you're going to drop her back off, you know, at her house or her residence, walk her to the door. That's a sign of chivalry too. Make sure she gets in her house nice without any, you know, any kind of complications or any kind of drama. Example of modern day chivalry. Modern day chivalry can include actions like listening attentively, being supportive during difficult times, and showing appreciation for your partner's efforts. It's about considering and asking your partner to feel valued and respected, of course. First of all, women love when you listen to them. Big chivalry. But this is one thing I try to practice too. You know, if your woman or your partner, even though y'all are first just dating, is doing little things with effort that she's excelling in, give her props on that. Give her flowers. Who doesn't like to be pat on the back? Especially women. So give her little thing. That motivates her. Because a lot of times people do things and they want someone to notice it and give them gratification, or give them, you know, how can I say this? Show them that they are doing something great and they're doing it on a positive level, but they're also putting in the work in doing that. You know, they love that, you know, they love that. Be very supportive of them, you know, even if they are doing something redundantly negative. Keep pushing them to turn the corner and do it and turn that negative into something positive. Change up the game plan that they are doing as far as you the man to a woman. Because like I said, all that woman needs at time is a good pat on the back, a boost, especially from a man that's interested in her. She's looking for that. She might not come out and ask you for that, but she's looking for that. Who doesn't want to be applauded for what they're doing, especially if they're working very hard, tirelessly, to try to do something and accomplish something? So, you know, pat them on the back, you know, repeatedly. Tell them they're doing a good job. You appreciate their effort, you know. You see how they are changing the game plan. They're switching up. You're seeing how they are getting at it. They're pushing, you know, with a lot of exuberance to make this whatever they have going to, you know, it can be a negative it can be a negative and they can turn it to a positive. Any little fine detail, applaud them on it, you know. Applaud them on it. Again, I can't say it I can't say it enough. Because all people a lot of time need, and this is where I believe come from depression and everything else. They're trying to do things. They're trying to turn the corner. They're trying to turn the page. But they want some reassurance from not only themselves, from outside people, which means other people, that people that's on the outside looking in. The best way, just like a lot of the athletes in the NBA and sports will say, the biggest thing I always admire or wanted when I started playing sports or anything, I just wanted the respect from my peers. And so I believe with a lot of chivalry, a lot of time a woman just loves to support, pat her on the back, I'm going to say it again, or give her a great motivation with a lot of high energy and positivity, but she wants the respect from the man or the partner that she is dating. Is chivalry in a relationship dead in these days? I don't think so. Maybe just different forms and formats of how a man has to show it to a woman. 2 cents. This is my podcast. Nino, thank you.